2 decades ago, it was possible to thwart Saddam's nuclear ambitions by bombing a single installation. But today, nothing less than dismantling his regime will do, because Saddam's nuclear program has fundamentally changed in those 2 decades. He no longer needs one large reactor to produce the deadly material necessary for atomic bombs. He can produce it in centrifuges the size of washing machines that can be hidden throughout the country. And I want to remind you that Iraq is a very big country. It is not the size of Monte Carlo. It is a big country. And I believe that even free and unfettered inspections will not uncover these portable manufacturing sites of mass death. So how much enriched uranium do you need for a bomb? And how close is Iran to getting it? Well, let me show you. Brought a diagram for you. Here's a diagram.
Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Greene. You're watching Green Wave TV, the alternative media television network. Just a couple quick thoughts I wanted to share with you. I've been thinking more about the rhetoric that we're getting, the intensity that it's stepped up the past few days, the past few weeks is unbelievable. And it's shocking, but it's not that it's shocking because it's predictable, but it's still shocking that these psychopaths want to take us to war. And again, we talked about this. I talked about this over 2 years ago. I told you as a direct consequence of the financial crash, as a direct consequence of, a devalued dollar, of quantitative easing, bailouts to infinity, stimulus, all these policies. Again, all this was orchestrated by these same people, by these same politicians, by our same leadership. It was going to drive us to war. And you see, this is what it was the end game the whole time. And it's shocking that more people aren't awake to this, and more people just don't see what's really going on behind the scenes. And after watching Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech the other day at the IPAC event, it was just more abundantly clear how close to war we actually are. Again, the United States continues to meddle into the business of other independent sovereign nations, and in the process goes and kills millions of people. Now, look, I got a comment the other day that said, wow, I didn't realize that Green Wave was so anti-Israel. Look, I'm not necessarily anti-Israel as so much as I am anti-war. I am anti-war, I am anti-killing, and so should you. You should be the same. And look, guys, I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know that those of you that have been tuned in for the past several years that are our regulars, that are the way that have helped me build this thing over the past couple years, I know we're on the same page. But please, share the message to as many people as you can. Share it with your friends and family, even if they don't want to hear it. Ignorance is not bliss in this case. Ignorance is going to get people killed. Hi guys. So we all remember a couple of years ago, General Wesley Clark gave a very famous interview on Democracy Now! Where he said essentially that wars were planned in 7 countries in 5 years, with the final destination being Iran. Now we see the rhetoric stepped up a notch, not just from what Donald Trump is tweeting. And again, this isn't Donald Trump's agenda. This is the agenda of the power brokers, the shadow government that own Donald Trump. So I want to play a little bit of this brief clip here, just to remind you again of what General Wesley Clark told us.
He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years.
7 countries in 5 years.
Starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon.
Okay. Iraq, done. Syria, done. Still actively trying to take out Bashar al-Assad. Lebanon, done.
Libya, Somalia.
Libya, definitely done. Muammar Gaddafi, dead. Transfer of guns into Syria. Creation of ISIS, done.
Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Okay, yeah, pretty much done, except for Iran, which is now where the rhetoric has just stepped up.
Doing it at a time when our president, while the Super Bowl is happening, is coming out with articles saying, I don't think Israel's ready to attack yet. What does that mean? We have to ask ourselves that question. What does that mean? Not willing to attack yet. You know, you got to ask yourself, this is number one, it's propaganda. Why are they telling us this? It's the equivalent of me telling you, you know what Bob Jones is not thinking about killing Marianne. Bob Jones is not thinking about killing Marianne. Why would I even be telling you that story? Why would I even be putting it in your head if it's not news? If it's not news. So we have to ask ourselves, why would Obama come out in the mainstream media while the Super Bowl is on, while the people are consumed with the gladiator games that have no idea what's going on? Again, most of these people don't even know who John Corzine is. Most of them don't even care. As long as they live in their la-la land and their life isn't affected, they're fine. Until something happens. Until something like, let's say they lose their home, which millions of Americans have. Or they lose their job, like millions of Americans have. Or they find their kids. Maybe many of you baby boomers find your loved ones at war. And you find your loved ones killed in Iran. Or maybe you already have in Iraq or Afghanistan. You know what? My heart goes out to you if that's been the case. Because it's a sad revelation to realize that there's been that loss of life for nothing. For nothing. For nothing. For what? Oil? For oil? So we can go steal from Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and Iran or Syria and destabilize the region so Americans can drive 5 SUVs and live on credit and create massive bubbles courtesy of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, people like Alan Greenspan that are financial terrorists that destroy the entire modern economy and the system and then rape and pillage the entire market itself, leaving millions of people homeless and foreclosure, short sale, suffering at the hands of this tyrannical police state government? Is that the reason for all this? And so at a time when so much matters, at a time when we're dealing with these incredible challenges, it's a time like this when I ask and I hope and I pray that the American people and the people of the world will actually rise to the occasion, that they will actually rise and fight back, that they will actually share the good word, that they will actually do something positive. Because without that, without the ability to take that risk, without the ability to try and to hope for something better, which we can surely create, there is no future. There is no hope. There is no America.
My point here being is the agenda that General Wesley Clark, a 4-star general, was so careful and polite to point out to us, someone highly connected within Washington, D.C., that all these countries would be taken out in succession with the final target being Iran, is only proven to be the strategy of the dark web, so to speak. You know, the elites that really run things, is only proved to be their agenda. And Iran is the final target.
I want to talk about why I think I'm successful.